kind of people with whom we will be spending the time. It depends on the career which we are choosing. If you're choosing a career of being an advocate, so you'll be surrounded by those kind of people, right? So these are the things. So what I would like to share my screen with you, and then I'll explain along. Thank you. Rajul, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Thank you. So this is the name of the organization we have. That's eMango. That's Education Management on the Go, and we are trying to solve a problem. And the problem statement is it is basically a conventional ways of choosing the career, and the admission planning for a child seems to be not the right way. So what is the problem? Generally, a child chooses the career under the influence of parents, friends, society, family, teachers, etc. But are these people aware of all the career option exist? Do they know the importance of aptitude, personality, and interest while choosing a career? Do they even know the path, how to reach at the epitome of any particular career? Now, what happens is, as these people may not be aware of these things, the people who are guiding the child are not aware of these. So, because of that, what happens? It leads to dropouts. It leads to unemployable degree holders, and it could also lead to the restlessness in your life. That and in the rare circumstances during the studies, it could lead to the suicide also. And there are facts for it. Actually, it is not just our assumptions. This is the Hindu's news, which says that around 2,500 students dropped out after taking admission into IITs. Economic Times news, 94% of engineering graduates are not fit for job. इंडिया के अंदर हर 1.5 घंटे में एक बच्चा सुसाइड कर लेता है. A student is suiciding per 1.5 hours. That's a very grave situation. So what I said is dropouts, unemployable degree holders, restlessness, or in extreme scenario, there are suicides. Now the question is, what is the solution? Solution is very simple. Ideally, as I said, the people who are guiding the child, they are not aware of all the career option exists. So the career should be explored first, and after exploring the career, what is the best fit for a child? Because every child has its own aptitude, personality, and interest. And personality and interest are not just the dictionary words. They have the books has been written by the psychologists on these two words. So how there are 6 type of interest, there are 5 type of personalities, and all those things. And the biggest problem is that see, the child is get influenced by parents a lot. Parents try to influence the child in a lot of ways, and lack of awareness always generate a fear, because the parents are not aware of all the career option exist. So they try to fit their child into the traditional career options only, in the conventional options only, and but their child may not be fit for those. So our the platform which we have, this is a very interesting platform. So what I'll do is I'll directly show you the platform, how it works, instead of just taking it through the PPT. This is the kind of platform we have. This is a student dashboard. A child, to solve that problem, one need an exploration. A child can explore the career, or the person who is guiding the child, they can also explore the career. And the information is available in such a easy way that this is a audio visual format. All the information has been provided in the audio visual, and this is a multilingual. This is in Hindi, English, Marathi, Punjabi, and all. So even a parent, those who do not understand English, they can also understand about a career. So I'll just play for a few seconds this video.
Are you someone who has solid analytical and planning skills and good imagination? Do you have knowledge of marketing? Do you like writing contents? How good are you at social media?
So this is the way we are presenting the information. It's every information is like what is the salaries, how many jobs are there in
48
India.
lakh. So, salary at senior level is 48 lakh.
Now, if child like to choose this career, they can simply click on this, and this will be shortlisted and this will be shared into their wish list. So this is the, after exploring the career, next question is that how to find out the best fit for yourself. Like, आप क्या बनना चाहते हैं? This question will keep on asking the child, but we are not giving them that how to choose, how they will come to know what is best fit for them. So we have a very interesting small test, which is this will stream based as well as a career based test. So say a child is just can take our aptitude and interest test, and based on that it will be mapped to the career for the child. So like, and or all the information, even the report of this psychometric assessment, this report is also in an audiovisual format. It's a multilingual, so it will be easier for the parent to understand. So let me just play this report for you. That's how the report.
Numerical aptitude is the ability to understand numerical values quickly and make logical and accurate conclusions from the given data to make important decisions. People who have high aptitude in this area generally learn faster and better in following areas: mathematicians, aerospace engineers, economists, actuary, statisticians. Your numerical.
So this is the way we are presenting the report. So a child can explore and then giving a psychometric assessment, then find the best fit career. Now next question is, what are the colleges? All the details about the college, law colleges, architect colleges, all the information about a college is available. They want to apply, they want to shortlist this, they can keep on doing it. Say they are shortlisting, this will be saved in their cart. So after, these are the colleges, and once a child will shortlist the college, then we'll keep on auto reminder, will keep on going to the child through SMS or through email. There's a form opening date of this college is there. These are the exams. And exams also, say these are so many exams for law. People keep on asking that in which I want to do law, which exam should I appear for? So this is DIY kind of platform. They can shortlist that, okay, I want to appear for this, and all this information are there. Now they can also come to know about the competitive events, about the sports, NTSC, dance, drama, and what events are going on. They can apply for from this a single platform, all this information. And this is child's own plan. As I was saying, that he can keep on shortlisting the career. He can keep on shortlisting the entrance exam or colleges. Those will be stored here. So he can later on look into this. Okay, this I have shortlisted this career. I want to go for this. These are entrance exam he has shortlisted. So automatic reminder for these exams will keep on going to the child's mobile and all. So that's how it works. And the beautiful thing is that for the schools, school can manage that what their childs are doing. This is the school dashboard which we are having. This is a school can maintain all the alumnus of jitne bhi uske alumni hain, and they can also keep the record of their champions. What are their sports champions? What is the and any other champions they have? Say and about the alumnus, because it is very helpful for the schools. For example, Dr. Varun, that was his admission number. He is medical. He has done the from Maulana Azad Medical College. He do the MD radiologist. And then this is a mobile number, and that's he passed on in 2016. So if your school student also get admission into Maulana Azad, maybe it will be helpful for to take the guidance from this already the alumnus of the school. So they can keep such record. They can also keep on making their own counseling sessions if they want to arrange. All the record will be there, and they can also come to know what is the numerical aptitude of overall numerical aptitude of the school, and what is the numerical aptitude class wise, what is the numerical aptitude section wise. All the informations, it's in graphical format, our principal can know in a second. And and how many students have completed the profile and all those things. And these are the knowledge, these are the important notifications for the schools also. What are the sports events are happening, what are NTSC and all those things are coming up. So even a student want to apply, so this information is keep on coming out there. So this is the way we are developing this. This is for a career council. It's a basically education management. This is, we are not developing a learning platform, but managing the education is also important. So that's what we are developing. And given the new education policy, as it has allowed for the new options for the student, so such kind of platform are required very much. And we are thankful that during, though it's not that there is always bad and good. Of course, from the this COVID period, the people have well versed with the technology. They will be able to use such kind of platforms, and so these kind of platforms are very much required. So that's that's what we are doing, and we are working with IIT Delhi for developing this psychometric test. We are converting this psychometric test in the gaming format, and this is happening first time in the world. The head of psychology, Dr. Purnima, people from France are also involved in this. So that's how we are making the things beautiful and easy for the users. So that's all I rest over here. Thank you, Rajul. Thanks for allowing
Thank you.
me.
Thank you, Sunilji, for suggesting how we can help, how we can use technology, for choosing careers. And you absolutely, we all are agree with you when you say that we don't choose careers, we choose life. So thank you for that. And now I would request Ms. Savio John. Savio, if we can have your perspective. You represented art education. In fact, that music in particular, that has received great attention in national education policy.
Yes.
So Savio, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Rajulji. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your valuable views on the National Education Policy 2020. We are very excited that music has been given such an important place in the NEP and what has been spoken about right now. Like I said, that there are over 20 mentions of music, compared to the NPE 1986, which had only one single line about extracurricular activities. So compared to that, it's like a quantum shift. It is very positive for people like us. I would just like to begin by talking about the United States of America, where we started as a music education company in the year 2010. So it's over 10 years we are there, and we are in over 200 public schools of the US. And in these schools, we have seen that the music labs are equipped very well. There are 20, 30 guitars, 20, 30 keyboards, 20, 30 drum kits. So what happens here is that every child gets an access to a single instrument. Now, even in the premium schools, I'm not talking about all the schools in our country, but even in the premium schools, we do see that there is a child who's playing a guitar, and there are five other children who are waiting for this kid to stop playing so that they get their turn to play. So, what I feel personally is unless and until we allow our children one on one access to facilities, we will never be able to change the situation or see the value addition which we desire. And if I'm just allowed to share my screen, Rajulji,
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
yeah, I would. Thank you. I would just, yeah, asking for certain permissions. All right. Um, are we able to view the screen? Are you able to see the
Yes,
screen,
yes,
everybody?
we can do.
All right. So I'm from Torrance Music, and we see that currently between the age group of 6 and 14, just like Mr. Sunil Dangi also mentioned that there is a suicide happening practically every minute in the country. There are cases like anxiety disorders, ADHD, suicidal tendencies, depression, and all this which we had practically not heard in this age group. You're probably 20 or 30 years back. And due to this corona, due to the situation of which has been induced by corona, these numbers are seen to be rising by the day. And talking about a few things, I would just like to speak about what music does. Music introduces, or it rather triggers, the happy chemicals in the brain, which are serotonin and dopamine. And we've seen that, listening to music, it creates a certain kind of a defense mechanism against negative thoughts and mood fluctuations in the mind of a child. So whenever the child is feeling a little upset, he feels a little lonely, a little depressed, he knows that he's got this talent to always go back to. And what music does, I think everybody is well aware about the power of music, what music does basically, how it stimulates the regeneration of the brain cells. And compared to the previous idea that music would only affect a certain part of the brain, if you look at this part, you can see when the brain is at rest, it is somewhat like this, and and this is the reaction of the brain to music. If you can see all these parts get activated, and you can see all these highlighted regions in the brain. And so, just talking about Torrents, we started in the year 2010, and as a web service provider, so we have taught over 2.5 lakh online subscribers across 140 countries. And these are some of our partners. We are in like 85 plus schools across 28 cities. And like I said, we started in the year 2017, from India. These are some images of a pilot school, which is SNBP International School, Pune. Like I was speaking about facilities, if you could see on the top right is the drum class, on the left top is the piano class, and the left bottom is the guitar class. So there is one instrument for every child. The kids get an access, so they don't have to wait for the other person to finish. And we provide all this infrastructure and reinforcement. So what we basically do is we give an entire music room design, layout, carpeting, and along with high quality instruments and maintenance. So this was one of the rooms which was given to us previously, and in this empty condition, and this is what we transformed it to. So this is how we make our rooms. This is what we do, along with the touch feel, the walls, the floors, and this is a guitar room in one of the schools. This is up in the northeast, and this is the piano room. And what is it that we do? We provide an end-to-end solution with trained instructors. There is personalized attention given to all the children, custom class schedules, and we have a plethora of videos, a huge database of videos which have been prepared by our instructors from the US and India. There are over tens of thousands of videos which the children can access when they go home. So whatever is being taught in the class can also be practiced at home in an integrated software which we provide. And these are the curriculum which we have: guitar, piano, drums, keyboards, vocals. And these are 10 different levels. And when during the lockdown, when the lockdown suddenly hit, everybody was caught unaware, and we really didn't have a lot of time to plan. The schools came back to us and they said that, all right, you guys have been with us for the past couple of years. Now we need to continue teaching music to the children in the comfort of their homes. And also, we had to address the fact that not many children had instruments at home. So we innovated. We came out with some curriculums called beatboxing, songwriting, body percussion, and home percussion. Now, these courses do not need you to have an instrument at home. And this can just be learned without having to buy a specific guitar or probably a keyboard or a drum kit. So, beatboxing is the sounds you make with your mouth. Songwriting, of course, is songwriting. Body percussion and home percussion are drum sounds and rhythm which can be played with your body, that is, thumping, clapping, stomping, or probably using your utensils or boxes at home. So these are some images from the classes which we had, which were pretty interesting, and we were having superb response by the children. These are some glimpses of the All India Band Contest, which we have organized. In these contests, the children get an opportunity to showcase their talent and on stage, and these competitions are judged by the leading music industry stalwarts and performers and people from the Bollywood. Ehsan Nurani, he's our mentor, our guide, and one of the directors on board. And Ehsan also visits the schools and conducts workshops for the children, for a partner schools, that is. And I would just like to talk about a small incident. One of the principals in Central India, had called me to discuss something about the Torrance music program, and she happened to say that she has observed up to 100% reduction in cases of classroom violence and destruction of property. And we have discussed about this many times in the past sessions as to why it is important for us to channelize the energy of the children and give them something positive to do. One of the speakers in the previous sessions, Jaswinder ji, had said that अगर बच्चों के हाथ में हम हुनर नहीं देंगे तो नहीं पता क्या उठा लेंगे. So in sync with that, I would just like to close by saying we are a 360-degree music education company, and we are here to help you out regarding any of your music needs and how to introduce plans and the new concepts which are mentioned in the NEP and how to go about doing it. Thank you, Rajulji. Over to you.
Thank you, Savio, for sharing how music can increase our efficiency and how you can solve that problem. So thank you all. Now with this we enter to the next part of the session, which is the question part. We have already received many questions, from various participants. So I'm just going to present these questions to all the key speakers. So, but before I start presenting questions, I'll just take a minute in explaining, what exactly we have been doing at School Lalaji Solutions. I'll share my screen here for a minute, and then we'll straight away discuss questions. Please allow me to share my screen. Some of you are already aware with School Lalaji Solutions. We are India's largest one-stop solution platform for educational institutions. We are present in 42 cities, working with somewhere around 4,500 institutions. We help educational institutions in 3 ways. We help them in buying right thing from right people at right price. We also help them in selling their old stuff, like their old buses, generators, furniture. We also help institutions to raise money, that may be in terms of fee financing or loans or some other way. Why there is a need for a platform like School Lalaji Solutions? You already have your old suppliers. Your team is having good expertise. You believe that you are getting good discounts. So why you need a platform like School Lalaji Solutions? In last 10, 12 years in India, in our education system ecosystem, now we have more than thousands of companies which have come up with wonderful products and services. So it's very difficult for both sides. Very difficult for those school leaders to meet and interact with everyone. At the same time, it is very difficult for those companies to reach out to you, to demonstrate their products and services. So sometimes many good suppliers, many good products, they don't get access to us, to school leaders. So here we come into the picture. We understand your school, we understand your actual requirement, and accordingly we interact, with different companies. We research about those companies. We understand their credibility. We negotiate with them, and then we recommend right partners to you. We help institutions in these different areas: smart classroom, procurement, uniform, insurance, diesel, solar plant installation, language labs, security solutions, furniture, recruitment, music classrooms, healthcare, robotics, STEM, STEAM labs, career counseling, stationery, digital marketing, IT solutions, educational tour, generators, learning tools, and finance. And we take the guarantee that we'll save at least your 5 to 7% of your annual expenditure. So that's kind of a 5% additional revenue generation. There's one example of in 2019, we saved 2 crore 40 lakh rupees for different schools in one category. That's bus insurance. Some major highlights: 8 megawatt plus solar installation, 3,000 plus bus insurance, 400 plus smart classrooms, 2,000 plus cameras, 350 plus training programs, 56 old buses we sold from one school to other, uniform in 42 schools. By the end of 2021, we aim to reach out to 10,000 institutions. We need your support, your guidance, your blessings. So thank you. I land here. And with this, I would request Amita ma'am, if I may present the first question to you.
Yes, please.
Right, ma'am. So this question has come from Ms. Deepika Shukla ji. Deepika ji is a PGT teacher with the Dr. Sonilal Patel Senior Secondary School, Kanpur. The question says, what major changes you visualize at the foundation stage? Which classes are exactly going to be part of this foundational stage?
So the major change, of course, which is very evident, is the nursery, LKG, UKG, the 3 years where we are going to have a set form of curriculum. And ma'am, this is very important for everyone to understand that from class 1, we have a very good framework of curriculum. There's no problem. It is graded to a large extent. And children begin learning, and we are able to teach. But there is no such curriculum for the pre-primary. And then there is a big jump in formal education from UKG to class 1. Then again from class 5 to class 6. And then again from class 8 to class 9, these barriers have to be broken somewhere or the other. So the new educational framework, which is talking of redesigning, I'm sure is going to do something. That is why they have taken the 5+3. 5 means 3 years of preschooling and 2 years of class 1 and 2. So that class which is suffering at the class 1 level, those, 5-6-year-old children will not really have that, it's a tormented class actually, if I tell you. Poor thing, from words, they come on to sentences immediately. And the teacher expects, what is difficult? You should learn them. They are not able to. So the best part that's going to happen is the curriculum formation that is going to be there for the kindergarten, as we call it now, and pre-primary, as we're going to call it with the NEP. So the pre-primary has to have a set of curriculum, which every school is going to follow the same. So that when children come to class 1, we all know it, that they're all at the same pace. They're not at a different pace. So this is the major change that is going to come into this preschool education.
Right. Thank you, Amita ma'am. I'll come back to you. Now I would request Alpina ma'am, if I may present this question to you. Alpina ma'am, do we have your presence? Okay, so I'll request Kamalbir sir, if I may present this question to you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You can put
So the question, right. So the question has come from Ms. Veena Bhasina. Veena ji, is a part of this. She hasn't mentioned her organization. She's from Noida. The question says, how well are schools and stakeholders prepared for the change, to accept the change?
Exactly. This is a question which everyone would like to ask, because if you see the result, ever since the introduction of New Education Policy 2020, if I'm not wrong, only 2 states have agreed to implement the policy so far, Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh. And how well are we prepared really? This is a big question that everyone would be asking, because as soon as the policy is introduced, we must simultaneously go on with the training and holding seminars and webinars and conferences to introduce the policy. Mere reading of the document will not really help, because document, it's not a novel or story that everyone would read and understand and enjoy. So more and more webinars and seminars, if they are held, we'll be able to really introduce the policy and then spread it around to people.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kamalbir sir. I'll come back to you. Now I would request Divya ji. Divya ji, if I may present this one to you. Yep. So Divya
Yes,
ji,
sir.
this question has come from Ms. Neha Bhogna. Neha ji is a TGT with the Army Public School, Shankar Vihar, New Delhi. The question says, how will the subject combination would create a problem for schools, and how these can be planned efficiently at senior secondary level post NEP implementation?
Can you please repeat the question? I think I've missed some lines in between.
Right, ma'am. Subject combination. This NEP proposes, flexibility in terms of choosing subjects at senior secondary level. So, how big problem that would be for schools in planning?
Pratap ji, if I say planning will be a problem, if we'll be planning at the 11th hour. Planning needs to be done much beforehand. When the NEP has been given to us with these years to plan, and obviously if we plan it accordingly, then the execution will be much easier. It will be a problem because it is something new which we'll be working on, but sitting with it, understanding it, and then bringing it to a level where execution is possible will for sure make the changes.
Right. Absolutely. So, in fact, I have just one, like a lot of educators during our previous sessions also maintain that, flexibility in terms of choosing subjects. Don't you think many schools, Divya ji, do you really believe that many schools will be giving this kind of opportunity, this kind of flexibility to school? They would be passing these kind of options to school through students, because that opportunity even was there before the NEP.
It was there, Pratap sir. In fact, in the very beginning, I said it is all up to the schools. It is the designing, it is the execution, which is in our hand. Things were there, yes. We've just got things in written, that too in the name of NEP. People have been doing it, and people will for sure avoid it also. It's not just the paper in hand which is going to make changes. It is going to be the execution at our level which will make the changes.
Right. Thank you. Divyaji, I'll come back to you. Now, I would request Dr. Vibhuti, if I may present this one to you. Dr. Arpana Vibhuti ji, do we have your presence? Okay, I'll come to Sunil Dangi ji. Sunil sir, I'll come with the same question which I presented to Divya ji. The flexibility of choosing subjects. So at one side, the schools, but as Divya ji said, like if we can plan in advance, so there won't be much hurdle in the planning part. But how much confusion it would throw at the the student part in terms of choosing careers. For example, if one student has chosen let's say physics and music, or let's say history, so how much confusion it would create for students?
Definitely, earlier as the choices were not there, even if someone wants to study physics and music, right? Now, these policies, earlier options were available earlier also, but now they are more emphasizing on this, that such kind of thing must be allowed by the schools. So, but if a school is allowing a music and physics, that is going to be what a child will become after he would have studied physics, music, and accounts. So he can also take the accounts, right? PCM, music, and accounts. Now, what the child will become? So there are career option exist for such child. One thing just coming into my mind was from the example that you just asked for. He can become a very good. He can become a manufacturer of the musical instruments. A child has a knowledge of music, and he is interested in music, and he knows the physics. And in physics there is a subject sounds, which is very much required for the in case of music, and he knows the accounts also. So he can become a very good businessman who will be manufacturing this instrument. So such kind of options, the confusion will be there. But if that confusion need to be removed, we will have to use the psychometric test so that we can come to know what is the API of the child, and we can map it to the right career. And and the digital platforms are required for such kind of things. And that's my answer to your question.
Thank you, Sunilji. I'll come back to you. Now I would request Savio, if I may present this one to you. Savio, you also talked about how we can how music can create efficiency, but a lot of educators have raised this question during our previous sessions. How easy it would be for schools to manage infrastructure. For example, let's say if 10% students, or let's say 5% students in a school, they start choosing music as a subject. So do you really believe that the private schools can have that music infrastructure, or they have that music trainers available for them?
Interesting question, Rajulji. We have to address the fact that there is a shortage of trained instructors, especially when it comes to courses like music, because there is probably no singular definition of what music should be taught inside the schools. So to begin with, we need to have some kind of a framework which is in line with the NEP 2020, which talks about music education, and how do we ensure that there is a certain cohesiveness in Western music and Indian music, which can be given to the children. NEP also speaks about provisioning instructors. Uh, they call it, probably they call it as sharing of resources. Something like, yeah. They call it sharing of resources. And I feel that that is a great step ahead as well. I'm just sharing myself again on an echo. Yeah. So that is one way of doing it. The other way is NEP also talks about allowing local talent to come and conduct these short courses, probably 3 months or a 6 month course. So like in music, some local artists could be requested to conduct these classes, and that's how these short-term courses and the objectives can be achieved. Now, when it comes about infrastructure, we have to understand infrastructure. For infrastructure, there's a certain cost, and these costs are not small, they're huge costs. And then musical instruments also come with a big part of there is a big part of maintenance involved in it. So here is where aggregators like us come in to help you alleviate these costs, and where the school effectively only pays for the program, that is for the children who are going to be learning the program, and we take care of all these costs here. And about music education, like what you asked me, Rajulji, in my PPT, I had shown how there are some innovative courses like body percussion, home percussion, beatboxing, Hindustani vocals, Western vocals, where you actually do not need a specific instrument to learn these courses. And so music could be taught to the children in this format as well. And all these children then can later on go ahead and choose if they feel okay. I'm good with beatboxing. Now I think I should experiment with drums. And so like this, we open the opportunities for all the children. A little bit of every instrument can be given to the children, and they go ahead and make informed choices later on.
Thank you for that detailed response, Savioji. Now, with this, we come to the end of this very special session. But before we conclude the session, I would request all our key speakers if we can have your concluding remarks. And we have also established one very interesting practice that while sharing your concluding remark, if you can also share one thought, one idea that you would like to implement if you get a chance to become Minister of Education of our country for one day. So what would be your priority, during that one day of ministership? What would be that idea that you would like to implement as a priority? So I'll come to you randomly so that you cannot fix your answers. So I'll select people randomly. So so I'll begin with Sunil Dangi ji. Sunil sir, if I may begin with you, if I may ask you for your concluding remark, and what would be your idea if you become Minister of Education?
Becoming a Minister of Education. The basic idea of education is to be happy and to earn the livings, right? That's the basic idea. So, and though we try to, earn, if we'll study well, we'll definitely earn. But the question is, will we remain happy or not? So we'll remain happy if we are doing something which will be which suits our aptitude and personality. So the importance of such kind of things, like choosing a right career, that will bring the happiness in your whole life. That should be implemented by the schools in a strict manner, that the emphasis should be given. Instead of just putting the emphasis on a marks, you score 90%, 95%, the importance such things must be given. So because I am from that field, so I would like to get it implemented in a strict way. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So amazing. Thank you, Sunilji, for that. Now I would request Savio, if I may ask you for your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you become Minister of Education?
I think we should be waiting for a little more time. We are going to be having the rubrics soon, I feel. A lot of people are putting their minds into developing the NEP and how it should be properly executed across the country. Overall, it's a great package. And the very fact that they have addressed all these new age skills and hoping to combine it with activity classes, I think that is a real takeaway here. And like as Mithil ma'am was speaking about how early childhood care and primary education should be regulated, and like the NEP also speaks in volumes about it. So I think that is a very, very positive aspect of the NEP, like how everything was so unregulated. And even when I talk about music, children exposed to music from the foundational level, from the fundamental level, it goes a long way in the lives of the children, especially when it comes to developing motor skills, cognitive development, everything overall. And if you ask me what I would do if I would be made the education minister, like I've always been saying, Rajulji, I would make sure that we introduce music and dance at a fundamental level, that is from the foundational years of the child, from the early classes, and ensure that most of the education happens in an activity-oriented manner.
Thank you. So you also need a cultural ministry, the additional charge of cultural ministry, for that.
100%.
Thank you, Savio, for those amazing remarks. Now I would request Kamalpreet sir, if I may ask you for your concluding remark. And if you get a chance to become Minister of Education, sir, what would be your priority?
Mr. Rajul, you've given me enough time to think and answer. The policy makes a mention of literacy for all by the year 2030. So if I become a minister, I would like to focus on this particular point and work on it on a mission mode so that the target is achieved.
Wonderful. So literacy for all. Thank you, Kamalbir sir, for that. Now I would request Divya ma'am, Divya ji, if I may ask you for your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you become, Minister of Education of our country?
Again, Pratap sir, it is something which did not come to my mind initially. You've given me this idea, and with this idea, what I have understood is that I'll be having access to all the government schools also. So with that access, I'll for sure make them work. This is what I'll be doing if I'll become the education minister of India. The teachers will for sure get the training which they run from, and the students will for sure come to school not only for midday meals but for studies also. And that will be the time which they'll be enjoying most, and we'll be getting, yes, good citizens for our country to come up to that level and reach the epitome of uh, understanding once it had in the past. So that is what I'll be doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. In fact, this is a one big mystery formula, how to make these government schools run efficiently. So, if you get to discover that formula, so I'm sure that would be a very precious one. Thank you, Divyaji, for that. Now, I would request Amita Mittal ma'am. Amita ma'am, your concluding remark, and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education?
Hello, everyone. It's been a wonderful platform today, and we've really learned a lot from each other. And I myself, I'm a very passionate teacher, basically, a very, very passionate teacher. God made me a principal. I don't know why. And I always used to feel that if you need to punish a very good teacher, make her the principal of the school. So that is what happened. And I have always been in love with music, and I am really happy to be associated now with this boy, Savio. And we know more about music and that music and how music rooms can actually be created in schools. Though the foundation schools which I made, I've been the principal to so many founders, principal to schools, I did put up very good music rooms, and I really put children into music and dance, plus sports also. That is another passion that I have, and today we didn't have a sports person. So that's been wonderful, and giving an opportunity to be the education minister. One thing is that there are very good schools in the cities, very, very good schools, but education in those schools is very expensive and it is not affordable. There are many children who are actually capable, but because of that expense they are not able to get into those schools. And if we have these kind of children in the schools, we can really work wonders for our country. Already we have so many good literate children who come up and who do so well in life. But these children given an opportunity to actually study in these wonderful good schools would make a difference to our country to a great extent. And if I were to be the education minister, I would make sure for all reasons to implement NEP 2020 in letter and spirit. I'm a teacher trainer myself, so I can go a long way into doing a lot of work, unconditionally, given a chance to do it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So at any cost, you would like to implement this NEP. So we'll also give you additional charge of law ministry, so that you have that, you are empowered enough to implement. So big thanks, Amita ma'am, for these wonderful and passionate remarks. Big thanks to all the key participants, Amita ma'am, Dr. Alpana Joshi ji, Kamalbir sir, Divya ji, Dr. Arpana Vibhuti, Sunil Dangi ji, Savio John ji, for participating and making this session truly special one. I also thank all other participants for joining and being with us during this very special 105th session of Leadership Talks. I once again thank you all. We need to end the session here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.